Ho ho ho, happy holidays. The views expressed on this podcast are that of the host, and not Santa's. Please stay out of the Mojave Desert Mountains and save yourself a probing from the little gray elves. They come in peace, but will leave you in little pieces. For your listening enjoyment, put on your best holiday tinfoil hat, turn on all the Christmas lights, and stare at the elf on the shelf. Lastly, the UFO talk is explicit and full of holiday cheery goodness. May the mistletoe be with you. Let's get the show started, fuckers.
This is the Tempest universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
Welcome to a case of the Mondays. This is our tradition here. Just every Monday when we have the podcast episode, we'll just get on here and bitch about how bad it was. You know, coming after a holiday here in the States, hey, you know, I actually found out by watching other YouTubers that the Thanksgiving really is celebrated around the world. Like somehow Thanksgiving has been, you know, embraced by folks that follow, you know, Catholicism around the world. So they'll still do Thanksgiving. I think that's weird, honestly, because, you know, you have to be there with the pilgrims and shit to have the whole Thanksgiving thing. I don't think it really was so much a religious thing, but I could be wrong, you know. I'm a heathen. But Monday, for me, has been a bit surreal. We lost another soul in the family, and it's one of those things, right? Because you kind of spend the time thinking, and this happened on Thanksgiving, believe it or not, but you when things like that happen, because I remember especially with Big O, you find yourself just lost in thought, like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is this all about? I understand people live and die, circle of life, you know, hold the little baby cub up, but still, there comes a time where you're like, really, for fuck's sake? Like right now? Yeah, you know, and I'm not talking about the person themselves, you know. I mean, I'm sure Big O didn't pick to, you know, pass away the way he did. And this individual, in the mid-90s, you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, she lived a full life. What the fuck do you know if she lived a full life or not? Maybe there was still some shit she wanted to do. Come on. Stop screwing around. So I don't know. You know, for anyone that's lost anyone recently, you know, I understand. I understand what you're going through. And other people don't. And it's weird because you kind of have to go through it before you understand that there's a hole. There literally is a hole that, sadly enough, eventually, with enough time, it will be filled in. Of course, Bugs is here, and I've tried to get him away, but you'll hear his sound effects. With enough time, it gets filled in. Now, I do spend my time a lot during the week thinking about Big O. Not so much about his accident, but what would we do right now? One of his favorite things was doing a homie check. You know, he'll call, find out what the hell's going on and things like that. You know, and it's one of the things that just pops into my head all the time. Like, what is he doing? Well, I mean, yeah, I get it. He's passed away, but still. Those are the things that happen. So my Monday was not so bad because I was literally, for fuck's sake, with my head up my ass because nothing really bothered me today. It's like, for what the fuck for? And that's another thought that comes in. It's like, why even bother? Shit. It's all going to come to a fucking end eventually. Why even get all worked up about stuff? It just makes no sense. One thing I know you guys get worked about, and get all crazy about this cute Christmas music. Listen, I know all of you have got your Christmas trees up, or at least some decorations in the inside of your home, or at least thinking about it, those of you who celebrate Christmas. So, why not continue with the music? First track today is going to be a rendition of a more traditional song. So I'll play that for you. And then we'll get into the news because I know you've seen the title for this episode. And I know you're intrigued. And you guys, I know you love this kind of stuff. So let's kick it off with Old Christmas Tree. The first article is from the town of Wigan. For some reason, I look at the name of this town and I want to say Wingman. Who the city manager is? Change the name of this goddamn town. It's confusing. Like I'm telling you, I'm looking at it, I say Wingman. Anyway, it turns out this guy from Wigan was out there one night, actually back on the 22nd, it appears, of November. So not too long ago. So he's out there chilling out, whatever. And if you look at the picture for this particular episode, you can see what it was that he spotted hanging over his house. And actually, it's a little bit past because it turns out he's somewhere in the back of his house looking at this thing. And holy shit, take mushrooms. What is this thing? The story goes that Stephen Jones was out there in Wigan, and he was letting his dogs out, because the little fuckers, you don't let them out there with shit and pee all over your house. And this happened Monday evening when he saw the image that you see for the episode. He says, I could not explain what the hell this was. He's 28 years old. He's a father of one child. And here's the thing I don't like about the article. Is that they literally tell you where the fuck he lives. Like, it tells you, like, the cross streets and everything, and then you got pictures of his backyard. It's pretty easy to find Steven if you really wanted to, but I'm not going to give you all that. If you want to know, maybe you're like the one listener in Wigan, and you want to go chill out with Steven and get the full story. Then you can look at the article and see what you see. You can see if you can track him down through Google Maps and go hang out with him. But anyway, he saw this thing. He says it was really weird because it was quite bright. From his perspective, what he saw was a saucer shape. If you look at the image, it's hard to tell. Now, it does have the overall kind of saucer shape, but it doesn't look like it's totally solid. I don't know. But he says that this thing appeared in the sky towards the back of his house around a little bit after 8 p.m. So if you are anywhere near Wigan and you happen to see the same thing, I mean, because the damn thing's in the sky, so chances are someone else saw it, maybe even reported it somewhere. You can corroborate what he took a picture of. And not just picture, he took video as well. He was so confused about what the hell he was looking at that he shouted out to his girlfriend, but she didn't come out. She did not even peep. She didn't even stick her head out. But he says he had the presence of mind to say, hey, I'm going to take some pictures of this. The article, again, tells you what street he lives on. If anything, what Steven needs to do is take these guys to task, because they literally, you can find his ass if you want to. Now, I don't know if he gave him this information. That way people can know when they read the article in case he wants to meet up with someone that actually saw it. But for fuck's sake, it even says what street is on. It's nuts. He says, and here's a quote, I thought it was very odd. Luckily, I had my mobile phone on me for the camera. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been believable. And he did take some pictures. There's some pretty good pictures on there. If you go to the link, because you want to track him down or whatever, but if you go to the article, you can see the full picture, and then you have a zoomed in picture, which is what we have for the episode image. But you can see the distance image, which shows his backyard or whatever, and the so-called, aka weird-ass donut saucer next to that. So, I mean, listen, it's pretty fascinating. Now, do I think it's a saucer? I don't know. I almost feel like it's just a crazy-looking cloud, to be honest. That's what I feel. That's what I see. He says he was completely surprised while he was taking out his dogs when he first saw it. And he says he was out there for like 5 minutes just looking at this thing. But then the father of one heard the one crying in the house, so he decided to go in. About 30 minutes later, he came back out, and the thing was gone. His UFO was gone, totally vanished from the sky. So, what can you say? Very strange, very weird. Definitely does not look like anything we're used to seeing. So who knows what it was, what he was looking at. But I don't know. There's just something to the way this thing is shaped that it feels like he may have been looking at some weird cloud formation. I don't know. You guys make that decision. Go to the link, check out the image, look at the full image that he uploaded, and tell me what you think. He was actually committed to coming down the next day, going back outside and checking out to see if he sees this thing again. Usually they don't just come back, especially if it's a cloud formation. That shit's done. But I would assume if it was an ET, I don't think they're going to be heading out to your location again. At least not that you're not now that you're fully aware, should I say? Because, Steven, that's it. Your probings are going to come in the dark of night while you're sleeping. Or I guess, it kind of sounds like his youngin' is pretty young, so I'm sure he doesn't get that much sleep. That's probably a good way to protect from probings, is not fucking sleep. Have like a 3-month-old. You won't get probed, because not even aliens want to deal with that. So let's be honest about it. There's more about this particular article in the description. You should check out the images. His camera is pretty good. The one thing I got to say about camera quality, if you have a modern phone, not one for like 10 years ago, because you're too cheap to upgrade. But if you have a modern phone that is maybe in the last 3 or 4 years, for fuck's sake, you can take some fantastic pictures. There's pro modes on there for pictures at night and things like that. You literally have a fantastic phone. Fucking use it right, especially when you see a UFO. If you see an alien, tell them to hold on. You gotta get your prosumer stuff together so you can take a real good damn picture of them. That way you can post it everywhere. Like I said, check out the link in the description. The images are fantastic. I'm gonna just say that much. He took some really clear images. So I just don't feel that this is anything other than a cloud in the sky. Check this out.
I'll be saved by rock and roll. You can take my money, steal my car and sell my clothes. You can take the shoes I'm in, go on, take everything. You can have about everything I own. Just leave that old piano, chair, so I can sit down there and play when I'm old. Take all these things I know, even take the telephone. I heard it said so long ago. Well, I'll be saved by rock and roll. Well, I'll be playing I'll be praying on our knees, we'll bow our heads and raise our hands. It'll shake us by our soul and praise that rock and roll. You can have my home and have the yard. Just leave my one guitar and leave me here, and I can play until the day turns dark. Take all the TV shows, go on, take all I own, and I'll be fine. I'll sit right here and pick. By God, it's good to know that I'll be saved by rock and roll. You can hear them playing every evening. You can hear them playing every day. They won't stop until they say someday we're all gonna be ringing that bell. One day we'll hear the sounds that could liberate us and take us out of hell. And come that day we see the end, we'll just start up some angel band, leave the world and all those things we fought down there so far below. Just bring my old piano, maybe a chair, so I can sit up there, play every song I know, and go round up George and Harry, John and Jerry. Gonna have ourselves a show. I heard it said so long ago. And I'll be saved by rock and roll. And I'll be saved by rock and roll.
Don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the money?
Dumb fuck you. Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat and...
people are running completely nuts about the Pentagon announcing that it's already put a group together. Like, everybody chill the fuck out. We got it. Okay? Shit. I know we fucked up before, but come on. Fucking senators. Like, literally, that's what they're doing. They're like, fuck you, Congress. So this, I swear to God that Bugs was not snoring until I started speaking. Listen to that shit. How could he? The hell is wrong with him? Anyway, so we know that as of the last couple of weeks, we know that initially Ruben Gallegos, representative out of Arizona, that he decided that he was going to amend the bill, the NDAA, in order to add a bit more UAP/UFO transparency. For who, I don't know, because we know we will not see none of those damn reports. So he wants some transparency in there. Then that was followed up last week by Kirsten Gillibrand, a Democrat out of New York. And so she decided she was going to add some shit to that too, right? So all of a sudden, everyone's putting in their 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents into what's known as the Fiscal Year 2022 National Defense Authorization Act, which has UFO shit in it. Then all of a sudden, the Pentagon said, no. You guys are not going to tell us what we're going to do. Here's what's going to happen, okay? Let me tell you how this is going to roll. So they decided they're going to make some shit now. Basically, they created the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. When you have a group you put together that you give no fucks about, you give it a name that has 15 words in it. That way no one can fucking remember. You can't even put an acronym to this. You literally cannot. Like, once you pass 4 words in the name, fuck the acronyms. It's done. No one's going to remember. And I really feel deep down inside, and I said this in the last episode last week, I feel that there's going to be some rubber dickery here. They've went ahead and they've done it without the provisions that are in these amendments that they added to the 2022 NDAA. So they're basically saying, go to hell. We're going to do things our way. Now, if these amendments do pass and get added to the NDAA, does that mean that the Pentagon is going to have to go back and do a do-over? Do they have to go back and take this Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group and say, shit, we got some new rules. We got some new rules, buddy. We need to fix this and, have to be held accountable to what's in this NDAA? I would say yes, but who's going to do it? Who's going to make them accountable for that? Let's be honest. Now, on the heels of all of this comes the guy, which we all know because he's all in the mix, Jeremy Corbell, Mr. Filmmaker, and he says this. Here's a quote. Today doesn't represent a huge win for UFO transparency. Again, today does not represent a huge win for UFO transparency. He said that the Department of Defense is trying to get out ahead of support from Congress and UFO legislation and continue hiding the truth. I believe that thoroughly. Like, how many, the whole idea was to have one fucking office. All you little rubber dickers out there, you pencil neck geeks, get all your UFO shit together and you're going to bring it to one fucking office. This is where it goes. You guys can handle that, right? You guys can put all this shit together and just dump it all here. Somebody here, probably the DIA, is going to figure that shit out. Well, now we got this place. Now we got the new Pentagon place. But I feel like it's like a prism. So all this shit's going to go in there and it's going to come out in fucking rainbow colors. And nobody's going to know what these reports are. There's zero transparency. I think this is what literally is going to happen to us. We are going to get so screwed with this. And I believe, listen, I'm with Jeremy Corbell. I don't like the way this went down. I feel that we're going to get rubber dicked by this. Now, is it possible that maybe this is the way it needs to happen without any oversight by Congress? Who knows? Because prior to this, Congress wasn't talking shit about UAPs, a damn thing about UFOs. They didn't give a damn what the hell is flying over our skies. So it's very possible that this could just be to pacify everyone. Everyone will be happy. They created something. They all get funny, cute little patches on their shirts, and we're good. There's bugs. I don't think that this is really going to help anyone. I feel like even this, in another 6 months, they'll change the name of this shit or add another sub-office. And then they'll continue to give us layers after layers of bureaucracy, red tape. Then we get to the redactions. Then we get, after that, to the missing people. People are going to disappear and shit. And, that's it. So much for transparency. The funny thing is about this interview, which is actually on here, is that Corbell says that he kind of likes where things were going prior to this, right? He says that and I quote, that the amendments were really robust. And he says it would really create an accountability and a transparency to the perceived threat. I don't know. I really don't. Now, the weird thing about this is that when he was speaking in the video, which if you go to the link of the article, it's Corbell's interview, he says that not only does he like the fact that the amendments are bringing this transparency, but he also says something to the effect that UFOs, UAPs don't have to be aliens, that he's just really happy that they're talking about it and they're acknowledging that there is something going on, something that has way advanced technology that's beyond our comprehension, and just the fact that people are acknowledging that. And then he says, we're starting to recognize that it means that the world is bigger than we ever imagined. I feel like that's what you say whenever somebody asks you a question and you have no idea what the fuck to say. You want fries with that? I feel like the world is bigger than we ever imagined. That's like the catch-all answer. I don't know what the fuck he meant by that. The world is bigger. What? Come on. Stop it. Well, needless to say, listen, the interview is there. You can look at it at the link in the description. But, I'm with him. I feel like there's some funny business now. I feel like now someone is trying to mitigate what could happen if there was transparency. Someone's getting in there and they're going to start mucking around and fucking over any transparency we could have had. Because at least, listen, with these guys in Congress writing amendments and shit like that, we know they don't know shit about this stuff. They're just writing it because somebody told me this would be a good idea. But they don't know. They literally do not know. And no one in Congress has asked any questions about everything that happened in the past. All the UFO sightings, all these stories with interviews and people going, doing regression and shit like that. They're not asking those questions because none of that shit, for some reason, matters. None of it. I mean, there were a lot of other encounters with military personnel way before those 144 incidents in the UAP report. Why aren't they talking about that? Why aren't they talking about Lieutenant Commander Fravor, should I say? Why are they not talking about the Tic Tac? Maybe they know the truth there. Maybe they decided to skip all of that because they already have the answers and they're not sharing it. I don't know. Check out the interview with Corbell and the article within the link that's supplied within the description. Because, listen, I agree. Sad but true, but I agree what he has to say. So check it out.
Day, a bright you took my breath away. A young and pretty, was it just a dream? The next day you called me up. You told me I'm your little buttercup. You came over and you fell into my arms. Well, I know what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair and your beautiful smile. Your sense of humor makes it all worthwhile. Don't make me wait, it's not a funny game. You know just what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. A hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, and I can't get enough. Can't get enough. I can't get enough. I can't get enough. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. Hopeless lover. And that's what I am. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish this girl were mine. And I can't get enough. Hopeless lover.
So this week I'll be sending out my first batch. I don't even know, I don't have posters yet, but fuck's sakes, USPS. My first batch of holiday cards. I am so excited about this. I was waiting for some specially made return address labels, just in case anybody wants to return a card or two. But for Pete's sake, I've got it all ready. We are good to go. And it's still time. It's not even December yet. So if you want to participate, the P.O. Box is on the description. I just try to wake Bugs up so he can stop snoring. Look, listen to him. God damn it. Anyway, the P.O. Box is in the description, or you can just email or go through social media and DM me your address, and I'll include you in it. I got a few stickers for the Dark Horde podcast, which has disappeared because I don't understand why I can't fucking get an episode done, and also the Tempest universe. So, you know, come on, join in the Christmas and holiday cheer because, shit, it's cool. Why not? And honestly, you know, one of the things that I said, I know I played the damn sting, but one of the things that I said that I was doing is because we're getting towards the end of COVID, man. It looks like it's coming to the end. Now we've got this damn Omicron, you know, strain of COVID. It might just has like 40 different mutations in it, and it might kick everybody's ass. So, yeah, send me a card, please. We all need it. We all need it. Credible UFO reports are being ignored by the Canadian government, man. What's going on? Here's a weird thing, because we just had an article about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. And, you know, a lot of shit's happened. I've slept a few times since we did the article. So I know it has something to do about the Canadian government saying we don't track UFOs. We give no fucks about it. That shit does not happen over our skies. You know, and we're all sitting there and we're thinking, I know there's been quite a few Canadian UFO reports historically that are pretty famous. We see that shit on the History Channel all the goddamn time. So how in the hell is it that they're saying we don't have I can't do a Canadian accent, I'm sorry. We don't have any reports. We don't track that. Well, it turns out that they fucking do. Right? Part of that article that we went over a few weeks ago, all those reports were going to one individual in charge of a specific group, and nobody knows what the fuck he's doing with those reports. That the Canadians are doing it. Well, here's an example, right? There was on September 20th. By the way, this is a two-shitter article, well worth it, because there's a lot of incidents that are being reported of UFO incidents in Canada, and really the argument here is what the hell are they doing? So on the just after midnight on September the 20th of 2016, the Royal Canadian Air Force, a squadron in Ontario, they received a call from Vancouver air traffic controllers about a vital intelligence sighting. Now, if you get something that's referred to as a vital intelligence sighting, sounds like it might be a UFO report that you might want to consider. Apparently, let me just continue. 20 minutes earlier, an Air Canada Express pilot who reported three lights 3,000 feet above him in his aircraft, and they were going a little slower. While they were at 25,000 feet or over an uninhabited stretch of British Columbia, around the rugged north coast. So you have a UFO sighting. This is a UFO sighting that eventually went through air traffic controllers and made it to the Royal Canadian Air Force in 2016. But they don't monitor these things because they don't get them situations. Motherboard, that website, they obtained declassified documents that said that the Royal Canadian Air Force reviewed the radar data but found nothing was near the plane. Within an hour, the reports have been faxed to the Canadian government's Transportation Department and the Air Force's Secretive Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance Division in Winnipeg. And then it died. Dead in the water. Nothing happened. Well, yeah, of course you have no strange shit going over your skies. You're not doing anything with it. It's just done. Now, according to a former Royal Canadian Air Force fighter pilot, John, quote-unquote, Jock Williams, he told Motherboard, I don't dispute that they saw strange lights, referring to the pilots from Air Canada. He says, and it may be, or it may not be, of a strange origin, who knows? But he says, but I know is that I'm not impressed with the level of investigation, which is zero. If you have to call the Royal Canadian Air Force because there's 3 strange lights flying at what appears to be about 28,000 feet, and just 3,000 feet above a plane flying 25,000 feet, and there's no other aircraft flying in the area, shouldn't that be a fully investigated report? Are we saying now that the Canadian government does not give 2 fucks about their sovereign skies? Are they saying that all of the Air Canada Express pilots are drunk fuckers who should not be flying anyway? That's why they have them flying over desolate areas of British Columbia. I don't know. But nothing happened. Motherboard used the government's Access to Information Act in order to get these daily log files from the Canadian Air Defense Sector, or CADS. And they're the ones who are responsible for identifying and monitoring air traffic approaching North America under NORAD and the Joint Canada-U.S. Defense Group. But it went nowhere. Williams goes on to say that you have evidence of the fact that they're well aware that this kind of stuff is happening, but it also lends to the fact that they're ignoring it. They're actively ignoring it. So it's not that you don't have an active UFO or UAP situation over Canada. They actively don't give no fucks. They're leaving it just the way it is. Williams actually spent 36 years in the Canadian Forces, and he says these guys are getting paid one way or the other. They might as well be investigating these situations. It makes full sense. Like, really, do the Canadians not give a fuck who's flying over their sovereign skies, or is it that they have no choice but to ignore it? I mean, this is nuts. This is nuts. The reason I say this is a good two-shit article, because there's other incidents and examples of where the government received the reports, they sent it to you-know-who, or that guy or this guy or that gal, and then it's dead. Nothing comes of it. In the declassified logs that were received by Motherboard from CADS, there were many reports that were extremely heavily redacted, and you can't even tell how they reacted to it, what they did, if they referred it to somewhere, nothing. They're just so full of redaction. They got that from the US. We're experts at that, and now they are as well. There was one incident April 15th of 2016 that CADS was notified by a WestJet flight near Toronto that reported a very bright light passing overhead of them. But they realized that there was no traffic in the area. The log was so heavily redacted, but there was a reference to a quote-unquote UFO report that was redacted heavily in white. So they've improved on the black ink. They like using white as well. There is just no way around it. I mean, you'd be really hard-pressed for, at this day and age, for any government to say that UFOs are not part of their daily lives, that shit's not flying over their sky that they're not aware of. These governments have too much technology to just say it's not going on. And even if let's say if something went over the rain fucking forest and there's a bunch, there's a little government there that's wearing leaves. Well, fuck, they don't have to acknowledge that they see strange lights, because I'm sure they do, because I'm sure the sky is perfectly clear and they see strange shit all the goddamn time. But the planes that are flying over, they have enough technology to support all their sightings. You might have to use a parrot to get the damn report to them of the sighting, but for fuck's sake. There's enough technology in the air flying over all these different countries around the world for them to build a database that could be quite respectable. But there is no country, I would think, right now, this day and time, they could truly say they don't have any UFO activity. I mean, I can't even imagine that. It's almost impossible. This is a worldwide phenomena. This is the real deal. So, when people say, "Oh, I'm so happy that there's a UAP report," even though middle schoolers wrote the shit, I'm happy that it's out there. Well, in many ways, and a very small percentage of me believes that's correct, but it was really full of nothing but grade A choice BS. That's all it was. So do we need the acknowledgement that there's some strange shit in the sky? Yeah, of course we do. We got decades of people reporting some really weird phenomena, and not just flying over, but landing, creatures coming out, people being abducted. I feel like I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Abducted. I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger there. You know, or people being taken in the middle of the night. Eventually, this UAP amendment stuff, maybe that one day will go into the past and look at the history of UFOs and what that really means compared to what people are reporting now. It's a crazy story. I would invite you all to actually read this article, you know, 2 maybe 3, depending on how much work you got to do during the day. But definitely take a look at it. It's interesting how we actually have a government, modern day government, that literally is finding ways to avoid the UFO UAP situation. Listen, I know the U.S. just came out the closet, but come on. You should follow Canada. You should.
this asshole.
By the way, we got together over the weekend. That's the Asgardians and myself, and we recorded the 12 Days of Christmas Asgardian style TTU. And let me tell you, it was a whole lot of fun. Now, we sound like the Pentatonics, like if they were smoking a lot of weed that was laced with cocaine and lots of alcohol. But it sounded pretty good, I want to say. Like, I literally am thinking about starting my own hip-hop career, and, get down, get the 1 and 2s, get myself a DJ or something like that. Like, really, I'm going to take this all the way. we hope, well, actually, I hope, that next Monday we should be able to premiere the song. We even got a bit of a special guest, and it is a kind of like a UFO themed 12 Days of Christmas. After we premiere it, you are free to download it, play it for your friends, whether they're from another planet or not. And definitely listen to it when you're extremely high, because we enjoyed it. We were quite under the influence. This next article, when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, there is nothing like a good alien fornication article, because, that's something that is just amazing. Isn't that right, Captain?
Weightlessness. Oh, Jesus.
Carmeline.
No description can equal this. Weightlessness.
This is nuts!
Oh, my God.
This is nuts.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm telling you.
Holy hell.
Oh, my goodness me. Oh, wow. I can't believe this.
I don't know. I can't help it. I just love that clip. I mean, really, there was never going to be anyone that's going to have that kind of reaction going to space, and at least sound the way William Shatner does. But the article is about a preacher who claims aliens try to have sex with her. And she had this interview. And she actually had the interview when she was on Jim Baker's show, if you could believe that. Now, I can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I could talk about it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play you what she said. These are the clips that are going around. I didn't actually see the Jim Baker episode when she got on there. Now, she is a self-proclaimed Christian prophetic Bible person, end of world type of person. She, I don't know, just listen to her. Her name is Sharon Gilbert. Some of you have listened to her, I'm sure. You probably got all her books, to be honest. But here it goes.
After Derek and I got married, one night, this other Derek appears in our bed. The real Derek is lying down next to me. Other Derek sits right up out of him. It startled me. I knew that was not Derek. And so I asked this critter, "Who are you?" Because he clearly wanted to have sexual relations. And he said, "Come on, I'm your husband." I said, "Who are you?" And he had the nerve to claim to be Ahasuerus, Xerxes. Well, other Derek seriously wanted to invite me to use my free will to do something that was going to pull me away from God. And he had little creatures with him this time. He brought these little halfling creatures, and they looked like, I don't know, gargoyles. They were very reptilian as well. So beneath that face of Derek was a reptilian serpentine creature, probably similar to what was visiting the Anasazi.
For fuck's sake, listen to the revelation there. First of all, I find it interesting that she said that this happened when her and Derek first got together, they gave their nuptials, and maybe Derek wanted to have a good time. I don't understand. It just makes no sense. And the fact that this thing claims to be Xerxes, what the fuck? What the hell is going on? Now, there's a part of this clip where she says, and I quote, this is interesting. She says, "I reached up, I grabbed his face, and I said, 'You are a liar, and Jesus is real.'" She says she then pulled the face off of fake Derek, and beneath there was a reptile. Then she went on to talk about the whole halflings and gargoyles that are reptilian and all these things. And, poor Derek, he just wanted to get laid. Like, Derek was just, I'm your husband now. I'm trying to get some, what you think? And she just went into this whole thing about this other Derek because he was being too forward. That's really what I see in my head. He's like, Derek was just being too forward. He had a bit of I don't know, maybe a blue pill that he borrowed from someone, and he's reaching the top of the erectile frame. And maybe that's the little Derek, the other Derek that she saw pop up in the middle of the night. I don't know, you can't write this stuff. She is known as an end of times preacher, Sharon Gilbert. And the funny thing is that a lot of people apparently are questioning whether or not Sharon Gilbert was speaking as this was a kind of like a metaphor to something, or she literally was being, sexually advanced by Xerxes, the reptilian with the little reptilian creatures around him. It's a very strange, it's a crazy story. Like, I really thought that we were going to get into some alien fornication because, that's it's kind of stories we do. Those are the ones that are more entertaining, if I could say that much. But no, Derek and Xerxes, they blew the deal. She got angry. She ripped his face off, and it was a done deal. No babies there. So, it's a really strange story. And, I'm glad that we had an actual clip of her saying it. Because for fuck's sake, what the hell? Why is giving up the booty pulling you away from God? I don't understand that part. I mean, that's your husband, lady. Come on. Actually, giving up the booty should get you closer to God, I would think. But this is what's happening. Like, aliens are appearing everywhere again. So now we've got reptilians. And this is a lady that likes to preach about the end of times. So why not include a couple of sleaze stacks in her bedroom to really sell the fact that the world's coming to an end? I actually had to, play that a few times. If you go to Google, you can, not Google, actually go to YouTube. Well, you can search on both. And you can search for this and actually see her explaining this. And there are two hosts that are there with her on the Jim Baker show. And you should see their facial expressions, because apparently they were not prepared for what the hell she was going to say. Well, anyway, listen, she doesn't give it up that easily. So Xerxes, you're going to have to wait for somebody else that's going to give up the booty, because she's not. This is the end of the podcast. If you want to read more about what Sharon, not Karen, had to say about keeping herself holier than thou in her bedroom with Derek, not Derek, search for it. Go to the link in the description. You can look at the YouTube video. The article itself also has clips of the video of the interview. You judge for yourself. Should she have given up the booty to Derek number 2? I don't know. I think she should have. Imagine if she did. Things would have been so different now. She would have been more accepting of reptilians, for fuck's sake. Come on. Anyway, this is the end of the podcast. I thank you guys for listening. Hopefully, we'll get together on Wednesday, have our Wednesday episode. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the Christmas holiday week. Christmas falls on a Saturday this year. So we might have one additional episode that week of just Christmas music, because I could drive you guys crazy with it. So, why not? It's my kind of show. Enjoy the depravity of it.
I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. Yeah. So lost, where do I go? I was in the chase, caught a flat on road. It was all love, X no O. I was feeling rich, but we turned out broke. Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. I can't believe that it was real.
Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to refine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will feel free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you're the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck. Loudly and proudly. In other words, fuck you!